Population is the total number of people in an area in a given period of time. The government must know about the population of their country so that they can plan ahead. The birth rate. The birth rate is the number of live births per annum per thousand of the population. The infant mortality rate is the number of death of infants in 1 year per thousand live births in that year. The factors affecting birth rate are: 1. Availability of birth control. 2. Living standards in terms of quality and quantity decides infant mortality rate. 3. Custom and religion. Some religions do not support birth controls, others think big families are unfashionable. 4. Female employment. Many women in developed countries do not want to break their career to bring up children or support the extra cost. The death rate. The crude death rate is the number of deaths per annum per thousand of the population. The factors affecting death rate are: A. Standard of living in terms of housing, diet and sanitation. B. Medical advances and health care. C. Natural disasters/wars. D. Law and order situation. E. Awareness about health and safety. Migration happens when people permanently leave one country, emigration, and enter another, immigration. Net migration is the difference between immigration and emigration. People usually want to leave countries for 2 reasons. Push factors: unemployment, low standard of living, poor climate in own country. B. Pull factors: good job prospects, high living standards of new country. Here are several ways that the population can increase. 1. Birth rate exceeds death rate. 2. Immigration exceeds emigration. 3. Natural rate of increase of population, birth rate, death rate. 4. Net migration, immigrants. 5. Total increase in population, natural increase plus net migration. A country is described as overpopulated if the resources are insufficient to meet the aggregate demand. Standard of living is poor as the few available goods and services are to be shared out among many people. Its population is so great that an increase in population would lead to a decrease in output per head. A country is described as overpopulated if the resources are insufficient to meet the aggregate demand. Standard of living is poor as the few available. A country is described as underpopulated if there are insufficient people to make full use of the existing resources. An increase in population would lead to an increase in output per head. As the size of the population in a country grows, they are able to produce more and more, but after a point there will be diminishing returns as there are too many people and too few resources. Output per head will fall. Optimum population is where the amount of resources available in a country is equal to the country's population, so there are enough resources to maintain its population. It is the most efficient level of population where output per head is maximized and the economy will be sustainable and self-subsistence. To achieving optimum population, a country should consider the following. 1. Social and cultural, change gender views to give women more rights. 2. Economic, increasing job opportunities, providing education and career prospects. 3. Population management, manage the country's population to prevent overpopulation. Population pyramids display the age and gender distribution of an economy. The vertical axes show the age groups and the horizontal axes show the gender groups, males on the left and females on the right. Geographic distribution, where people live. 90% of the world population live in developing countries. This puts a lot of pressure on scarce resources in these countries. About half of the world population live in urban areas, and this continues to rise, which has helped increase production and living standards but resulted in rapid consumption of natural resources and high levels of pollution and congestion. Occupational distribution, what jobs people work in. In developed economies, more people work in the service sector, while in less developed economies, most people work in agriculture. In developing economies, there is a huge migration of workers from primary production to manufacturing and service sectors. Female employment and self-employment are also rising, which will add to production and higher living standards.